Have a drink, Monty?
No, no.
Oh, I have them both myself.
Yes, you're right. It's that famous entertainer of radio, stage and screen, Ronald Frankau, with Monte Crick at the piano.
Well, cheery up.
Cheerio.
You know, through life with one idea we seem to labour. That's the one idea that causes the fuss. We've got to go one better than our neighbour, or anyway he mustn't go one better than us. So how many things do we do just because we think it's the right thing to do? Or wear a stiff shirt and sit in collars that hurt a bit, hearing Wagner's Meister Singer through. Or do the English like good music, which the BBC will teach them? They like German Lieder, those frightful girls, what screeching. What about the opera and our great Sir Thomas Beecham? Do people go because they like it? Or because it's the right thing to do? End of clean song, start of sordid patter. As a matter of fact, I'd like to tell you something about Faust. Marvelous opera, Faust. Music by Gounod, story by Goethe. It's the Goethe I'd like to tell you about. Act 1. Faust discovered contemplating suicide. He's been overdoing something. He was very, very young. He's just about to have a large glass of poison. He hears angels singing in the distance and realizes that if he dies, he'll be forever with angels. Plus harps, but minus anything that interests anybody who's very, very young. He doesn't commit suicide, and a stranger suddenly comes in and says, "What's wrong, old boy?" Or old bean, fruit, cock or occupier. Faust says, "It's the very devil." Stranger said, "Sure it is." Whipping off his cloak, reveals his carmine violas. May interest you to know that I get 4pence a performance for saying violas instead of woolses. Cardinal point with me. He then goes on and says, "I'm Mephistopheles, buy one. One lot of good looks, one good looker for the mere price of your body and soul." Shows Faust the vision of a lovely girl called Marguerite. Faust says, "She looks good to me." Mephistopheles says, "She is, you fool." That's the whole point. Thereupon Faust drinks the magic philter in a goblet, which he will filter the brim and goblet. Curtain, everybody delighted. Act 2. Marguerite, that's the girl of the vision, is saying goodbye to her brother Valentine, who's going off to a war to stop all wars which didn't. When he's gone, Mephistopheles lets Faust have a deco or Indian peep at Marguerite as she comes out of church, mosque or shul. He doffs his hat, doublet, take away the number you first thought of. Says, "What about it, Marguerite?" She says, "What about what?" He says, "What about, you know?" She says, "No." Curtain. Everybody delighted. Act 3. Siebel, Marguerite's boyfriend, has left some flowers from Covent Garden. Faust comes in and leaves some jewels from Hatton Garden. Marguerite says, "What a darling," referring to Siebel. Then she says, "What a casket," referring to the jewels. She was poor, but she was honest, but the casket changed all that. Sapphire, so good. Faust comes in and woos her. Anyway, Marguerite draws the blind, and curtain. Everybody disappointed. Act 4. Valentine comes home and fights. Much too late for everybody's honor. Then he falls too. Curtain. Act 5, last act. Marguerite has a baby. She murders it in the same place, gets thrown into prison for that. In her cell she cries buckets of tears. Faust comes in and says he can bail them out. And her, if she'll only fly with him. She sings that famous song, "I'd sooner die than say yes," and does both. But how many things do we do just because we think it's the right thing to do? If Faust the way had carried her and honorably married her, Marguerite might have been still more blue. But when they're first engaged, we know young maidens love the kisses. At the start of married life, they appreciate what bliss is. But when for more than 18 months a miss has been a missus, does a wife kiss cause she likes it? Or because it's the right thing to do, dance? Oh, I'll have another of these.